Hey everybody, shalom to you all. I know it's been a while since I've come in to reading to you guys. Um, it's been 2 Mondays. I think I've been keeping that record in my head as how far I've slacked um, in coming to read the Word with you all and to study before you all with you all. Um, and the one of the Mondays was due to my daughter. Her birthday was going to be on a Tuesday, and Monday it just my day was trying to get things prepped. Not that we celebrate um, birthdays like the traditional ways that we once had done it. A lot of convictions um, have come and shown me um, how far we can put too much focus on things that we do by tradition and we've never really searched stuff out. So it's not like I don't um, bless, be a blessing unto my children. Um, we have certain examples of, those that did certain things from the past, and I don't see Father really getting mad with certain things that I've come across, and you can have those type of thoughts and convictions, but when it comes down to other traditions that are pressed on, everything needs to just be evaluated. Basically, is what I'm trying to get at, and so that's one of them that I don't do like traditionally in the sense of um, what I've learned about like candles on a cake and just making a big thing on that. Um, but yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there. Um, and so yeah, I was trying to make a special meal for her, and that's what I try to do with my children when it comes down to just you know being happy that Father has given them another year, of life to continue. But every day is a celebration in a sense because tomorrow is not promised, and that we will see um, as we go through the readings. We're gonna find where we look to His Word and um, certain expressions that we've heard randomly just spoken. You know, um, there's many sayings that people pull from the word, not even knowing that it comes from there, and that is one of them. And so I do, I'm trying to get better at praising Father on a daily basis because it isn't granted. He could take us in the night if he wants to. He could take you within a second, before you take your next breath. And so, and he's just something to he's just someone, sorry, uh, to always be in thanksgiving with, and in reverence and just always our minds should be on him because he's everywhere and knows everything. And so that was that Monday why I hadn't come before you all. And then the following Monday, I'm just enjoying my children's summer break along with them. Even though my children are homeschooled and now they're doing an online um, curriculum now through the school, so they're with teachers and stuff like that, to where I don't have to be doing my sit downs with them with curriculum that I once started off with. I get a small little break. But even still, that I don't have to do that. I still enjoy summertime that I don't have to like get them up and get them going. And of course, then there's my husband and my other son that have to get off to work. So I'm still going about doing what I need to do for the day. And so during the summertime, of not I don't have to worry about too much about them and making sure they're in their classes on time. I feel like I'm getting a break with them as well. So that Monday I didn't come because I just I forgot for one, and I made it a whole pajama day. But anyways, I am here now, and I am ready to read with you all. excuse the look. But when you come to knowing scripture, it's not about your appearance. I don't want to be focused on myself to where I don't do what Father is asking me to do in bringing the word. Um, and I love where I have come to know um, certain of the disciples that didn't have the appearance, you know, beautiful and stuff like that, and or their speech wasn't great, but they answered the call. They heard Father, and they just they did what was supposed to be done to keep Father's word alive and keep people knowing that we need to get back to doing the truth. So I'm not worried about my appearance at this moment. I just know I need to get with doing what I need to try to do, and that is to bring the word, and trying to show myself, for others, to kind of have that, demonstration or that example that even me being in the walk of this understanding where I'm at now of knowing that Father's laws are for today, and I've been doing it for some time now. I think around what 8 years maybe, um, if I can try to recall it as best as I can. Um, and I still don't have everything figured out, So, but for what I do know, that I am trying to put my every, effort to, and that is what I do see what Yeshua has said, and I've even seen that when I was in the, the denomination before that I got to this one, my previous one, and even they used to teach us that we needed to learn how to be disciples, going out and trying to, back then it was, of course, trying to save people. But when you come to the understanding of Messiah's mission, his commission to go out there and teach everybody that this is important with reconciling them back to Father, and then, everybody just going out and helping everybody get back to the truth of the gospel, the what was the the how did they say it? Um, the gospel is the scriptures. It's not what we see by Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, but uh, we'll get to all that eventually when I start to um, share more as I read um, the the things that have been taught to me, and how I've come to read it for myself and see that they are that it is so, you know. So I am getting my timer on, so this way we can get started. And I said a whole hour I would like to dedicate to Father as much as I can, and um, let's see where that hour takes us, because we're starting from Genesis. So even one chapter can take up a whole hour sometimes, just to because I'm there's thought process. There's a thinking process, and you can be stuck on one little word, and you can you know travel with Father as to what he's trying to say there, and you're questioning it as you're reading it, and that's what that type of relationship is with him, in your mind, and you're letting his spirit guide you, because he dwells within you, so that's where that communication happens. So when I get to a particular point, if you see me um, kind of go quiet, I'm trying to collect my thought, but I might express what I'm thinking out loud, you know, just so that way you kind of see how. I go about my thought process and what's coming to me, and then I'll share where I go to the tools that kind of help me um, get a better, uh, well, get its clarity, of course, but it helps me to think upon it and get it that much better. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so before I start the hour, I'm gonna go ahead and bring us before Father. So this way, um, He just guides. He helps us to understand this. And I say us because I hope that you know that there might be some that do watch, and follow along. And so you're included. So Abba Yahweh, we come before you, giving you praise and thanks today. Um, Thanking you for another day of life, Father. Just knowing that every second counts, and you are someone to be excited over, as well as feared, in the sense that we just know what mighty works you can do if you let your wrath get the best of you. Um, but when you start to see a heart wanting you and coming back to you and returning back to you, all the more do I see your long suffering uh, being so merciful and granted to us. By that, you know, that you just wait. You keep looking and hoping that we get to that point with you of desiring to know more about you before that great day that we all fear, Judgment Day. I don't care how many times we can think that we have it all good and we don't need to know this or know that more, and we think, but still, there's still kind of that worry that comes when death is nearing. If we've done all well to know what it is that we might see from you come Judgment Day. But I just pray, Abba. I pray for our minds to be just wanting more. That's what I hope. I just want us to come and keep wanting more of you and showing you that we're here to to hear from you. That we need your understanding, so that way we don't sin against you. And this way we have it stored within our hearts. So be with us, Father, and lead us. Take over my mind, my mouth, for I am in submission to you. In Yeshua's name, Father, be be with those that are studying with me as well. In Yeshua's name, amen. Okay, so the hour mark is on. Okay, Genesis. And like I said, I am reading from the LEXHAM English Septuagint. I showed you all that book the last time. Here it is once again. That's where I'm reading from. Okay, Genesis. On the sidebar, remember what I had told you all is that um, it has like titles. Some of the modern Bibles have the titles above the verses, but this one has like a little sidebar. So I'll be saying the title of what more or less what they associate those paragraphs to help get a better understanding for it. Okay, so of course the first title is called The Beginning. Okay. In the beginning, God made the heavens and the earth, but the earth was unseen and unprepared, and darkness was upon the deep, And the Spirit of Jehovah rushed upon the water. And I could stick to his titles, but because of, like I said, I've been doing this for some time now, and I've come to know his name, because it is there. You just have to, like I said, those tools, the Blue Letter Bible. You have the Strong's Concordance, and I'm pretty sure there's other stuff out there. But those are the main ones that I've used and where I have seen um, where they have changed the name, and put more or less the titles in its place. Okay, there's a lot of things that got hidden away. But anyways, so that's the reason why you'll be hearing me put more his name in those places. Okay, and the Spirit of Yahweh rushed upon the water, and Jehovah said, let light come into being. And light came into being, and Jehovah saw the light, that it was good, and Jehovah made a separation between the light and the darkness. And Jehovah named the light day, and the darkness he named night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. Okay, so um, before I can keep going, like I said, there might be times where I stop. So, because of what I've come to know just recently, um, and that might help to carry on as I go on reading. So, my husband has come to understand that when the day begins, so it's like it's from a morning to a morning, that would be a full day. Um, because before we got to that, we've come to see that we thought it was from an evening to an evening to count the whole day. But as we started looking into when the day began, um, and when we were studying Genesis, you can see what was taking place uh, during the the day. Okay, so it's just showing us here that in this day, the first day, this took place. Okay, so that's what we're seeing taking place. Right here, I don't really see it as it expressing, um, the count of a day from evening to evening or morning to morning. Right here, I'm starting, when I took my time to read this before I came before you, I started to see that these events happened on this day. Okay, so that was the first day that we see when um, the water came and then light got separated from the darkness. So that took place the first day. Okay, and Jehovah said, let a firmament come into being in the midst of the water, and let a separator be in the midst of the water. And so it happened. And Jehovah made the firmament, and Jehovah made a separation in the midst of the water that was under the firmament, and in the midst of the water that was upon the firmament. And Jehovah named the firmament heaven. And Jehovah saw that it was good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the second day. Okay, so we see what was taking place that second day. Okay, there was evening and there was morning, the second day. Okay, and Jehovah said, let the water that is under the heavens be gathered together into one assembly, and let the dryness appear. And so it happened. And the water under the heavens was brought together into their assembly, and the dryness appeared. And Jehovah named the dryness earth, and the assemblies of the waters he named seas. And Jehovah saw that it was good. And Jehovah said, let the earth sprout fodder plants, sowing seed according to kind, and according to likeness, and fruit bearing tree, making fruit, whose seed is itself in the tree, according to kind, in regard to likeness upon the earth. And so it happened. And the earth brought forth fodder plants, sowing seed according to kind and according to likeness, and the fruit bearing tree making fruit, whose seed is itself in the tree, corresponding to its kind upon the earth. And Jehovah saw that it was good, and there was evening, and there was morning, the third day. Okay, so that that's what took place that third day. Okay, and so like I said, I'm not going to get into full detail of how we've come to see, because I'm not really good at explaining that yet, where it's a morning to a morning. So here, because we see it's saying that, and then there was morning, just meaning that completed that day, because he did things during the day and then he rested at night. Okay, and then when morning came again, that completed the day, because it's from a morning to a morning. So within that 24-hour period, that's what took place. During the day, he did things, and then night came, and then morning, to show that that's where it stops, from morning to morning, the third day. Okay. And Jehovah said, let luminaries come into being in the firmament. Okay, so this is now the start of the next day. Okay, we're seeing what's taking place the fourth day. Okay, let the luminaries come into being in the firmament of the heavens for illumination of the earth, and rule the days and the nights, and make a separation in the midst of the day and in the midst of the night. And let them be for a sign, and for seasons, and for days, and for years. And let them be for illumination in the firmament of the heavens, so that they might give light upon the earth. And so it happened. And Jehovah made the two big luminaries, the big luminary to have authority over the day, and the little luminary to have authority over the night, and the stars. And Yahweh placed them in the firmament of the heavens, so that they might shine upon the earth, and rule over the day and the night, and to make a separation in the midst of the light, and in the midst of the darkness, And God saw that it was good, and there was evening, and there was morning the fourth day. Okay, so that completes within that full day, a 24-hour period. That's all I can say. Not like I said, I better not even try to explain the whole like 12 hours and the 12 hours thing yet. I'm still trying to catch on to my husband's own teaching on that. But we can see, because from what he studied, we can see that that's where it's at, morning to morning. So now we see that that completed that one day. Okay, so but we're seeing creation happen. What's happening before, now we use things for our as our tools for what they're supposed to be, to help us look for um, times and seasons of events, what we're to look out for our crops, all these things. These are being set in place. So creation, this is, of course, this is the beginning. We're seeing creation happen on these uh, 24-hour periods. That's the way I look at it. And from a morning to a morning kind of count. Okay. And there was, and then there was evening, and there was morning, the fourth day, like completed, morning to a morning. And God said, let the water bring forth living, creeping things, and birds flying above the earth in relation to the firmament of the heavens. And so it happened. And God made the very large fish and every life of living creeping thing that the water brought forth according to their kind, and every bird with wings according to kind. And God said that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, increase and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let the birds multiply upon the earth. And there was evening, and there was morning, the fifth day. Okay, so now that it's now the morning, fifth day completed. Now it's the new day. Okay, but before I carry on, let's see if I can show you. Right here, when you get to reading, I don't know if you can see this like very little fine print on the bottom there. You see? I hope I'm doing good by showing you this. It's not so blurry. I hope it's not that blurry. But anyways, there is within the passage when you're reading, sometimes you can get to a word and then there's like a mini little letter that's next to that one word. Or it's, I guess it could be meant for the, no, I don't think it would be for the phrase, but it's above like a word. And that little letter, you can go down underneath the what the paragraphs, and it'll have what an extra um, what definition or something for you to understand what that word is meaning right there. Okay, so let me go and find the letters, and right here. Okay, so in verse 6, where it says, Jehovah said, let a firmament come into being in the midst of the water, and let a separator be in the midst of the water. Okay, so A is by the word water. And that on the bottom says it's literal. Okay, this is in the literal, and it means of the water and of the water. Okay, so I guess they just take out a take out the word mist. So of the water and out of the water. Okay, then it has a B and a C. We should find a B and a C in what we just read. And let me see if I can find those. Okay, verse 8, it says, And Jehovah named the firmament heaven. The letter B is near the word heaven, and that is also can be called sky. Okay, so B means sky or sky. Okay, so it could say, and Jehovah named the firmament sky. I'm just needing to find the letter C. Okay, on verse 20, it says, And Jehovah said, Let the water bring forth living, creeping things. Okay, so the letter C is next to the word things. And that means literal creeping things of living souls. Okay, so creeping things of living souls. Okay, so now back to reading. Now we just completed what was created, on the fifth day. Now we're getting to the sixth day. Sorry, hold on. Something popped up on my computer. Okay. Now it's the start of the new morning, of course. And so here's what we'll read that's being done on the sixth day. And Jehovah said, Let the earth bring forth a living creature according to kind. Quadrupeds, and creeping things, and wild animals of the earth, according to kind. And so it happened. And Jehovah made the wild animals of the earth according to kind, and the livestock according to kind, and all the creeping things of the earth according to their kind. And Jehovah saw that it was good. And Jehovah said, Let us make humankind according to our image, and according to our likeness, and let them rule over the fish of the sea, and the birds of the heavens, and the livestock, and all the earth, and all the creeping things that creep upon the earth. And Jehovah made humankind. He made him according to the image of Jehovah. He made them male and female. And Jehovah blessed them, saying, Increase and multiply, and fill the earth, and gain dominion over it, and rule over the fish of the sea, and the birds of the heavens, and all the livestock, and all the earth, and all the creeping things that creep upon the earth. And Jehovah said, Look, I have given to you every herb that has sowable seed that is upon all the earth, and every tree that has sowable seed in its fruit will become food for you, and for all the wild animals of the earth, and for all the birds of the heavens, and for every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth, that has soul of life in itself. And all green fodder will be for food. And so it happened. And Yahweh saw everything that he had made, and look, it was very good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the sixth day completion. Okay, so that all takes place in chapter 1. We see what happens during each day. And to me, I look at that as like, I don't know if you would talk, like, in a sense, look at it as a full summary to where we don't see, it's not fully discussed, it's not expounded upon, you know. And now we're going to see it come, we're going to see a bigger picture to each day. But like I look at it as like we just see what happened on each day within, um, within each day. And so now within each day we see much more of a bigger, what took place. Um, of course, now without having to see like, um, on this day, this is what Father said, and this is what kind of took, this is what happened between Eve, Adam, and the serpent, So right here, we just see how everything just, when it was being created, and how everything was good. He saw everything that he made each day, and that it was good. And then we start seeing, uh, the turn of events that happened during those, a bigger thing by it all. Okay, chapter 2. The title for the beginning of it is, called God Rests. Okay, Yahweh rests. It starts off with that to complete, to see what happens, by day 7, um, and then to get to know how everything was taking place and what was being said, and the relationship part. Um, that title will start in verse 4, but the title is called Adam and Eve. Okay, so right here, chapter 2, Yehovah rests. The heavens and the earth and all their ornamentation were completed. Yehovah completed his works that he did on the 6th day. And on the 7th day he ceased from all his works that he did. Yehovah blessed the 7th day and made it sacred, because on it he ceased from all his works that Yehovah began to do. Okay, so that completes all of what took place on all those days. And of course, we don't really need to see that he, evening and the morning, because, well, it was just to show us what took place on each day. And now this one day, uh, he just rested. That was it. But we saw the pattern of what he does. Okay, Adam and Eve. Okay, so this is the book Um, this is the book of the origin of the heavens and the earth when they came into being. The heavens and the earth. Okay. On the day when Yehovah Elohim, or Yehovah, our God, made the heavens and the earth, and every green plant of the field, before they came to be upon the earth, and every herb of the field before they had grown up. For Jehovah had not sent rain upon the earth, and there was no human to work the earth. But a spring came up out of the earth, and watered all the face of the earth. And Jehovah formed the human with dust from the earth, and blew the breath of life into his hand. Sorry, into his face. Into his face. And the human came into being as a living soul. Okay, so okay. Jehovah planted a paradise in Eden toward the east, and there he placed the human that he formed. And Jehovah further brought up from the earth every tree beautiful to the sight and good for food, and the tree of life in the midst of the paradise, and the tree for knowing what is known of good and evil. But a river goes out from Eden to water the paradise. From that place it separates into four sources. The name of the one is Pishon. This is the one encircling all the land of Havilah. There where the gold is, but the gold of that land is beautiful, and the carbuncle and the green stone are there. The name of the second river is Gihon, or Gihon. There is the one. This is the one encircling all the land of Cush. The third river is the Tigris. This is the one going opposite the Syrians. And the fourth river, this is the Euphrates. And Jehovah took the human that he formed, and he placed him in the paradise to work and to keep it. Jehovah commanded Adam, saying, From every tree that is in the paradise you may eat for food, but from the tree of knowing good and evil you will not eat from it. And on which day you eat from it, you will surely die. And there we have the letter A next to the word die. And that means literally, you will die the death. Yahweh said, "It is not good that the human is alone. Let us make for him a helper like him." And Jehovah further formed from the earth all the wild animals of the field. Hmm. Um, and sorry, let me say that again. And Yahweh further formed from the earth all the wild animals of the field, and all the birds of the heavens. And he led them to Adam to see what he would name them, and anything, whatever Adam named it, whatever Adam named it as a living soul, that was its name. Adam gave names to all the livestock, and to all the birds of the heavens, and to all the wild animals of the field. Yet for Adam no helper resembling him was found. So Jehovah laid a trance upon Adam and put him to sleep. And see, before we get to this point, I used to kind of feel when I because I've read the word before, um, in from beginning to end, but it's always good to try to go, and that's why I'm trying to do it this way with everybody, to get back to reading it once again, because sometimes you can forget all the stuff that you've read, you know, in you I need to always get back to just keep on reading from the beginning, 'cause you can lose a lot of stuff. Sometimes you can just go to like popular places, passages, stories, and that's like what will be your continued choice of preference. You know, your what would you your favorite. Almost kind of like going to your favorite movie all the time, or going to your favorite kind of novel, and you're forgetting like all these other big things that can help in other areas to use as examples. But that's besides the point here. But when I first read this is what I'm trying to get at. Is when I first read this part, I used to always think like, did he just remain in thought by verse 18? Because I always thought verse 18 was kind of like, okay, well, he said it, but he didn't make Eve right away, and it's like he went straight into just making the animals, um, or then I kind of wonder, maybe this could be um, maybe out of place. I don't know. I just kind of felt like 18 should have kind of came in um, right at, let's see here, right after verse 20. I always felt like 18 should have been right after uh, 20, to see Father's, um, spoken thought. And then now we see him putting it into action. Because I always felt like that one was out of place. But I think that's where you can find those parts with Father and be like, where did you just keep that? Like you kept that inwardly, but continued, creating, and then, but see, then it kind of seems like he had the thought first, because he was noticing all these animals having a partner, and then Adam, not having one, and then spoke to himself in a sense, like, um, Adam doesn't have a helpmeet, so we should make him a helper. I don't know. There's just so much that you can have a discussion with Father. Like, did, did this just stay in your mind while you created the rest, and then got to it? Um, but anyways, that's just a thought to share right there. um, so Yahweh laid a trance upon Adam and put him to sleep, and he took one of his ribs and filled up the flesh in the place of it. Yahweh built the rib that he took from Adam into a woman, and he led her to Adam. And Adam said, "Now this is bone from my bone, and flesh from my flesh. She will be named woman, because she was taken from her man. For this reason, a man will leave behind his father and his mother, and will cleave to his wife, and the two will become one flesh." Now, before I carry on, um, right here, I used to think it was Adam who said, uh, for this reason, a man will leave behind his father and his mother, and will cleave to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. But when you start to read, you'll see where the quotation marks are. So right here, it just seems like the narrator, well, we all, when we read the Nelson's Bible Maps and Charts, you know, everybody has said it's been Moses, the writer, okay? So it seems like he's just using that as the example of Adam and Eve, and how, you know, the humans came into existence, and how we end up, you know, why a child leaves home and goes and cleaves to, you know, his his spouse. And so, um, I used to think that I think I used to even like say, well, Adam said, um, for this reason, man leaves a, a mom and dad home to cleave to his wife. But we see his quotes and what he says, and right there's no quotation. So I'm thinking that's just the narrator. Um, but with um, it still holds true though, because when we get further into reading the word, um, we're gonna see the places where Father is, it says that he's like a hen, you know. Um, so he's like our mother and our father, you know. Um, so it's not that he was leaving Yehovah to cleave to Eve because Eve was given over to him, but he was he was going to come into connection with her. Um, in small senses, it kind of is like if he left mother and father's home to cleave to his wife, because sadly of what they did, now him and Eve um, had to make life for themselves out in out in the big world, out of the Garden of Eden, um, and had to learn to rely on each other with Father's help out there. So I don't know. That just kind of came to me, but that's not the case. I'm just saying that it fits, that Adam still cleaved to her, knowing that he, you know, Yehovah is our father and mother figure. Okay, chapter 3. The title for that one is called The Fall. The two were naked, both Adam and his wife, and they did not feel shame. Now the serpent was wiser than all the wild animals that were upon the earth that Jehovah made. And the serpent said to the woman, why is it that Jehovah said, you may not eat from every tree of the garden? The woman said to the serpent, from every tree of the garden we may eat, but from the fruit of the tree that is in the middle of the garden, Jehovah said, you will not eat from it, nor may you touch it, in order that you might not die. The serpent said to the woman, you certainly will not die. Okay, and right here, I don't know, I'm seeing the letter C next to the word die, but I'm trying to find where the letter B was, just so I kind of flow with where it's at right away and just say what the extra understanding is said of it. Um, Give me 1 second. Oh, okay, I missed it. Okay, so at the start of verse uh, chapter 3, verse 1, letter B is by the word shame. The two were naked, both Adam and his wife, and they did not feel shame. So B, uh, it says for B, chapter 3, verse 1 begins here in, I guess, HB, which I think that's meaning Hebrew. Um, when I read the introduction, it didn't tell me um, what certain abbreviations would be, but this is HB, so I'm assuming it's Hebrew. So right here it's saying begins here in Hebrew. Okay, but back to this verse 4. The serpent said to the woman, you certainly will not die. Okay, so the letter C is next to the word die, and that literally means not by death you will die. For Jehovah knows that in the day you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be as gods, who know good and evil. The woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasing to the eyes to look at, and it was seasonable to look at. And after taking some of its fruit, she ate. She also gave to her husband with her, and they ate. Then the eyes of the two were opened, and they realized that they were naked, and they sewed together fig tree leaves and made for themselves loincloths. Okay, having read this much earlier today, before I knew I was going to come and start reading um, to you all, um, the things that had crossed my mind, and of course, thinking upon like um, those that I've heard either teach their thoughts to it, or me having that once, that type of thought once myself. When you get into like the New Testament and you start seeing where Yeshua's words or the writings of the disciples, um, and their sayings will be recapping, like, hey, that sounds familiar. Well, they did. They used the Old Testament. This is where our understanding of life and what to do and how to be comes from, is all of Father's words, uh, from Genesis all the way to Malachi. You know, that's what's going to help us understand the New Testament and what they were saying. This is the source of life right here. And so we'll get to that point where, hey, they're quoting such as from such and such place, you know, in the Old Testament. And so going to some of the stuff I remember listening to or myself have thought at that one point, um, a lot of times we can look at Eve like as in like she added to Father's words, and of course there is, um, when we get to the laws of Father, where he does talk, well, all of it's law, of course, but when we get to see where, the Levitical laws and all these other type of laws, okay, since the beginning, everything's a law. And then we take these notes, what he says goes, so we look at even this as to for our examples of how to be. And there's a part where he does say you don't add or take away from anything he says. So a lot of times we look to Eve like if she was, like if she added to that, to Father's word, and it would look so, of course, because all he says is that you can eat all the trees, you know that I'm you can eat all of them except for this one, and that's as far as he leaves it. Um, but I always look to that one piece where when we just read where it says, and he led her to Adam in verse 22. Jehovah built the rib, okay, that he took from Adam into a woman, okay, when he made her, and he led her to Adam. Now, we don't know what that type of spiritual surgery looked like. Was, you know, Adam even awake? Was it a quick uh, recovery? Was he still asleep while Father, was leading her? Because of him having to lead her to Adam makes me wonder what kind of conversation could have taken place, um, before he brought her. Did he give her certain rules or or did he say just like what he told Adam, you have all these to eat from, and did he just leave it at, um, but from that one tree of good and evil, uh, don't eat, or could by chance did he tell her, um, don't even touch it, because of the fact that a lot of men and women, we all will say, we come from man, of course, but we'll always say that there's much difference, of course, and that's why Father told man, we're a, a weaker vessel, more delicate, in the sense that we are sensitive, where we have more sensitivity than um, our our husbands, and so, or from any man. And so, could she be saying something in a sense that she did hear Father tell her an extra, just because he designed her? He knew she's gonna be like Adam, in the sense of being made with the same type of, you know, two legs, two arms, same type of structure. Of course, different extras, um, and sensitivity and different ways of functioning, by thoughts and stuff. So who knows if that's not one area that, she was not necessarily off, but I don't know. Even my own thought could be off by that thought. But that's just my thoughts on it. That during that leading, that, he was guiding her to Adam, there could have maybe been said some stuff, and who knows. Let's see here. And then, and then Adam was here right next to her. So it's not like, he wasn't around when she first took that bite, and I think he was right next to her the whole time. But that's not what I was going to talk on. Let's see here. Oh, when it came down to this fruit, when I was reading this version today, I was like, wow, okay, I've never seen it that way. But of course, like I said, this is the Greek translation. Um, it says right here in verse 6, the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasing to the eyes to look at, and it was seasonable to look at. So this shows that, it was within season. That's how I look at it, as seasonable to look at. It didn't just look like a green little, you know, I don't know. When the fruits start to just show their like first little, um, appearance, they're like green, and they have a little shape of a ball, but they haven't taken full form to their fruit. So, but right here, it says it's seasonable to look at, so it was ready for the picking. And after taking some of its fruit, um, earlier I was just like, wait, hold on. I had to recall, because when I got to that point, I was like, and after taking some of its fruit, I was like, grapes? What? Could it be grapes? That, because everybody's wondering, what is this forbidden fruit? Don't get me wrong, a lot of people have put the apple as the thing, but it doesn't say what it is. It doesn't. Can't you can't put a fruit to it. You just can't. But anyways, my mind, I don't know why, tracked to grape, but then I was like, hold on, grapes grow on vines. No. Then I had to then Father was like, no, no, no. Remember, it's they said that they could have from all the fruit on the trees, that this one tree in the midst, how does it say it in, verse 9? And the tree for knowing what is known of good and evil, so it's a tree. So that, I had to thank you for that. I was like, grapes? No. But just because I put the word some of its fruit, like associated as some, so I thought she only got maybe a cluster of grapes and only ate some, a few. But I was like, hold on, hold on. let's recall what the fruit was here. But with that, um, and I don't know, I'm just gonna. It's just in question, This is what I was with in thoughts with Father, because sometimes you can read a passage and you could be thinking a totally opposite thought or where it could be coming from. But as long as you keep reading further along, sometimes you get to your answer within the same passage. It's like it's not so far away. And so now, having seen the fact that she ate some of this fruit, now don't get me wrong, it took me also to maybe a pomegranate. I thought maybe she ate a couple of that. But like I said, these are only speculations because it doesn't say, but your mind just travels with Father. Could it have been? Could it have been? But as I kept reading, and they're right next to this tree, and then having now their eyes are now seeing for the first time what they actually look like. Um, it says that, uh, and they sewed together fig tree leaves. Fig tree leaves. Okay, so I don't think that they would have ran off. So is this forbidden fruit? Could it be possibly a fig? You know, I don't know. And that word being some of its fruit, just meaning like a bite, like how we've always seen that depicted before our eyes. It's just a bite that would be considered some. So I don't know. It's just a thought to put out there. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've seen, like I said, depictions in movies where it shows that they ran and they hid in a bush somewheres. But here, I don't know if they necessarily ran away. I think that because they saw themselves exposed, they just ate that fruit, and now they're pulling the the leaves off of it because they're, I guess, because if you look at a fig, we have a fig tree in our yard, and the leaves, they're pretty big. They're pretty big comparison to other fruit tree leaves. So I could see that being sown um, for decent coverage. Um, I don't know. Just makes me wonder if that forbidden fruit that is such a mystery, which it still kind of is. I'm not gonna knock the fact that they don't go and um, ran somewhere else. Ran to a fig tree and got the leaves of it. But I don't know. This is just the thought of mine that I had this morning with Father. So, okay. But anyways, let's carry on. Then okay, and that's time. Okay, so our hour is up, and we'll just leave it at that. And I'm so happy that I was able to get back to staying with the mission. Sometimes you can get too comfortable if you. It's kind of like exercise in a sense when you're doing so well and you've even gone over the whole like soreness phase or whatever, and you're doing good, and then you're like, no, I'll go ahead and take this one day off. And then another day comes, something comes up, and you make another excuse to take one more day off, and then it just becomes a little too comfortable. And then sometimes if you go way past it, and you're just like, now you're like, oh, now I don't want to. Not that you never want to go back to reading. I do love going to the Word on my own, but this is what I'm needing to work at. It could become comfortable not coming and recording myself and trying to put myself to do my mission for Him. I could just stay in my own little shell and uh, stick to just reading on my own and be happy with that. But I'm trying my best to put myself out there and hope to help someone get that reconciliation back to reading the Word and just having fun with Father. Okay, but that takes care of our Monday's reading. I know I say it time and time again, but I'll say it again. I hope that I can try to bring in more days to read. If not, we know that Monday, I will push for that Monday to make it happen. So, Father Yahweh, we come before you, giving you praise and thanks for your words today. Just seeing how things got started, our journey. This is even our first getting started with you. Um, and I'm saying like in this kind of direction, Father, putting myself out there and trying to do my mission and whoever's catching on and coming and studying with me, who knows if it's their first time in all areas, even looking, into your word for their first time. So I just love looking at the start of how things go, Father, and just grow, how things grow in time and our understanding of you and our obedience in you. And we just love you, Father. We love your word. And we thank you for giving us this time to know you. This is our relationship, Father. May it keep getting stronger and stronger. And we thank you. We love you, Father. In Yeshua's name, amen. Okay, well, you all have a blessed remainder of the week. And get excited because Sabbath is on its way and our moment to be with one another in fellowships and just going before Father and getting so much rest and celebration in Him together. It's coming. So I always look forward to Sabbath. So I hope you have a blessed week. And hopefully, if I can squeeze another day and come at it, then I'll see you then. If not, I will see you this, well, if I'm with you in the gatherings that I've talked to where I'm at, hopefully to see you there. Any of you that I have not come to know through those, then I hope you have a blessed Sabbath. And talk to you soon. Shalom. Shalom and love you all.